the upcoming videos, we'll be looking into the powerful Python library, which is NumPy, and how it can be used for scientific computing and machine learning. Let's get started. So, this is the roadmap for this section. We'll be covering a lot of concepts in this section. I'll just walk you through the steps and let's go through it. So, first we'll be covering what is NumPy and why NumPy, and then we will be looking into what are the different data types in NumPy, how to create an array, how to do sampling with random values, and we'll be looking into the various math functions that are available in NumPy, how to slice an array and index an array, and how to sort an array, which is essential in many places, and also how to manipulate an array, how to combine and split arrays. Okay, that's also very important. Finally, we'll look into the set operations. So NumPy is a Python library which is used extensively, not just in machine learning, but in the entire field of scientific computing. It is a very fundamental library, and many other libraries are built on top of it, and it also interacts with many powerful libraries very closely. So it's important that you understand NumPy very well. So let's get started in the NumPy library. So what is a NumPy library? It is a fundamental package for scientific computing in Python. It consists of a powerful n-dimensional array, and that is one of the important objects of NumPy. And it also can do sophisticated broadcasting, and it has many functions like linear algebra functions like Fourier transform. It can generate random numbers, and it kinds of cover most of the functions that are available. And it is also performs in an effective way because end of the day the NumPy core is a compiled C code, so it also gives performance. NumPy is a wonderful combination of the flexibleness of Python and the effectiveness of compiled code. So it also able to do multidimensional array of generic data, not just limited to integer or float. It has many data types which it can create arrays for, and it also works seamlessly with many other libraries, as I said. So it helps us to involve NumPy in a variety of projects. So these are some of the other advantages of NumPy. So let's proceed forward. So some of the key points and the difference between NumPy array and Python list. So NumPy array are fixed size at creation. Unlike Python list, which can be dynamic, whenever you're creating or changing the size of a NumPy array, it actually creates a new array and deletes the old one. Okay. So another thing is all the elements in a NumPy array should be of the same data type. So it says that the element should be homogeneous because each single element should be of the same size in a NumPy array. But it's not the same in case of Python list. In a Python list, you can have the first element as a string, the second one as an integer, the third one as a float. It is heterogeneous. But NumPy array is a homogeneous. And finally, it can facilitate many mathematical operations in a efficient way. It has more advanced mathematical operations than Python list for sure, and also does it in an efficient manner. Okay, so these are the key points to take away. And why NumPy is fast? The two main reasons for NumPy being so effective is vectorization and broadcasting concept. So we'll be looking into them in detail. So what is vectorization? So vectorization describes the absence of explicit for loop. This is a very important point. So when you are iterating through thousands or millions of numbers or elements, you can't be looping them individually one after the other. It is very ineffective. So what vectorization does is, it does the same thing behind the scene in an optimized pre-compiled C code. So it does the same task in a very effective manner. That's what vectorization is, and we'll be looking into it in the code section also. And the other important concept is broadcasting. So what broadcasting does is, it helps to do mathematical operations between arrays of different shapes. So what it does is, it reshapes a smaller array to be compatible to do operations with the larger array. So we'll be looking into it with an example so that you can have a clear understanding. So let's take the first example. So the first array is a 1 cross 3 array. So one row and 3 columns. But the thing that we are doing addition is a single scalar of value 5. So in order to make the addition, what we do is we broadcast this 5 to the shape of the first array, this array. So this also becomes to the shape of 1 comma 3. So then we are doing the addition. So the results in 5 comma 6 comma 7. Okay, as you can see. So this is uh, doing a one-dimensional vector adding with the scalar. The next example, we have a matrix, okay, a 2D matrix, and we are broadcasting it with an 1D array. Okay, so what happens is it broadcasts itself with the along the rows, so it becomes compatible with the first array, and then we are doing the operation. Similarly, in the third example, what we are actually doing is the first array is actually 3 comma 1. The second array is 1 comma 3. So they are of different shapes. So what we are actually doing is we are broadcasting the first array along the columns and the second array along the rows so that they are compatible to make the operation. So I hope this makes you broadcasting clear, and we'll also be coding it in the upcoming sections. Okay. So this is the basic introduction I wanted to give about NumPy. Let's explore the NumPy website to know more about it. So let's search NumPy. So NumPy org would be coming. So as I said, NumPy is a great library which has a lot of advantages, and it interacts with many other libraries, not just limited to machine learning, but also with the entire scope of scientific computing. So it has, as we said, it has a powerful n-dimensional array. It has various numerical computational tools like linear algebra tools and fast Fourier transforms and many other. It is interoperable. So the thing is, it works very well with various devices of different hardwares, and it integrates very well with the libraries that work with these different hardwares like GPUs, TPUs, etc. As we know, it is a very performant. It works very effectively than normal Python list. That's due to the optimized C code. It's easy to use, and it's also open source. So it is developed openly in GitHub. If you're interested, you can also pull it and do the contribution over it. So it's built open source, and you can try it yourself. So the ecosystem is quite large. It is used in a wide range of scientific computing, from quantum computing to bioinformatics and many more. And it is also works very well with the other array libraries like Dask and CUPy. So these are and TensorFlow, which is as you know is a deep learning framework, machine learning framework. So NumPy interacts very well with these libraries. NumPy API is a starting point for uh, when libraries are written to exploit the innovative hardware. So it is built on top of NumPy, all these awesome libraries. And it is also used extensively in the many groundbreaking technologies like we are recently were able to visualize a dark black hole, right? So NumPy and SciPy ecosystem were used extensively to actually do it, and it is also used in many other use cases. And let's get into the data science part of it. So as you know, it's used extensively in data science along with the ecosystem of pandas, matplotlib, and other libraries. Let's get into machine learning in specific. So many libraries like sklearn, SciPy, TensorFlow, MXNet, and even XGBoost and other ensemble models, all of them are interacting very closely with NumPy, and NumPy forms the basis for these powerful machine learning libraries. Okay, and it is also very useful in visualization. Also, starting with Seaborn, Matplotlib, and Plotly, NumPy is an essential component for these libraries also. As you can see, NumPy is spread across various domains, and it is very powerful tool that that is giving the power for us to work in across domains. So it's very important that you understand NumPy very well. So let's get started into this journey of NumPy for scientific computing. So let's look into comparing the efficiency of Python list versus NumPy. Okay, let's get started. So in this notebook, we'll be comparing these two things and how efficient they are, and we'll be calculating the time taken by each of these functions using the time library. So I'm importing these two libraries, the NumPy and the time library. What I'm doing is I'm creating a list, two lists of the same size, one followed by six zeros. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a element wise multiplication between the two lists A and B, and see how much time it is actually taking to multiply and get the values for this array. So I have created a empty list, and what I'm doing is I'm multiplying element wise with each element and appending it to C, and I'm stopping the time, and I'm actually printing the time it actually takes. Okay. So right now it takes around 0.41 seconds. So the answer comes in seconds. Okay. So this is the output we get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this list into a NumPy array. As you can see, I'm doing it, I'm specifying the D type as int64 over here because int32 doesn't have this capacity to hold such a long number when these two are multiplied. So that's the reason why we are going to the data type of int64. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to multiply the same thing. So this is the only line that is needed. So what happens here where vectorization comes in. Okay. So it is doing the part internally. So this is the time taken by our NumPy implementation. So let's compare the time taken by NumPy and the normal Python implementation. As you can see, the NumPy implementation is almost 110x faster than the Python implementation. This shows the power and efficiency that NumPy brings in. So this time I'll just run another example. So I'm just increasing 0 in all the cases. So let's run this again. Just so sorry. Let's run this again. Let's see the time taken for this. So it should be slightly higher. So it takes around 3 seconds to complete this, around 4 seconds to complete this execution. So similarly, we create the new array with the updated value, array. So it actually takes some time to create, but it's going to be a one-time process. So we are not considering the time of creation in both the examples. We are just considering the time for doing the multiplication. So here we go. That took around 3 seconds. Let's see how much time does NumPy takes. Data, it's done. So actually you can see it's a very good improvement in time. So it's almost 130x faster than traditional NumPy, so traditional Python. Okay. So this shows the speed improvement in our case. To make sure that the outputs are similar, we'll just calculate the value, we'll just sum the output. As you can see, the output are similar. So we are able to get the same output, same result with almost 130x faster rate. So this shows the power of NumPy. Okay, and that's the reason why we are going to be exploring NumPy in detail with various functionalities that is provide which can be used in machine learning. Thanks for joining in this video. Let's explore the features of NumPy in the upcoming videos. Bye.